Hi, my name's William Schaeffer with another book review. Today's book, Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. This book was written in 1645 and has become legendary. Miyamoto Musashi was one of the greatest samurai, if perhaps not the greatest samurai, in the entire samurai tradition. Samurai sword fighting involved duels to the death. His first contest was at age 13 and he was victorious. His next contest was at age 16. By age 30, he had engaged in over 60 combats and was victorious in all of them. A good number of the combats he engaged in, he did not even use a sword. He just used a wooden sword or a stick to demonstrate his great prowess. When he retired, he devoted his life to calligraphy and learning and study and became a master calligrapher, writer, and painter. He maintained that once you achieved excellence in one discipline, that it was easier to achieve excellence in another discipline. Now, one thing that's interesting about samurai sword fighting as compared to Western sword fighting is it really was a contest of the wills and of the strength of the will. And in that manner, Zen Buddhism in particular, that was a discipline to help control the will and control the mind, was very appealing. Because in samurai sword fighting, unlike the sword fighting we see in the Hollywood cinema where they're always swashbuckling, usually the two fighters would stand face to face, eye to eye, motionless, in preparation for action. And they would stand motionless for hours, for a long time, till one of them could not stand the strain, and then he would decide to initiate an action. Once he initiated the action, usually his opponent would see that, read it, counter it, and win the match. So the sword fighting itself frequently didn't last very long. But it was the competition or the contest of the wills and the contest of the strength of the will, who could maintain the greatest self-control for the longest time, that frequently determined the victor of the competition. Now, there's a lot of other strategies, and Miyamoto Musashi had a lot of different ways to unnerve his opponents. And one of those techniques was just to use a stick. They would either be too casual, too overconfident, and he would use that against them and win the competition. In any event, he stands out in history, in my mind, as a uniquely intelligent and dedicated character and strength of spirit, an admirable example of how to identify and achieve your goals. And no matter what discipline you engage in, having the mind of the samurai is vital to success. Keeping your mind focused on your objective. Don't get distracted. Whether you're learning to paint or playing piano or whatever, or learning to sword fight or learning some other skill. Therefore, I heartily recommend reading the Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi, one of the greatest samurai and one of the great spirits of all mankind. Thank you, and leave your comments below.